Pay no attention to the temperatures the last few days.
right.
We are in October,
Yes, we are.
and you may be starting to think about Halloween. It's about 4 weeks away.
Of course
Chattanooga
they are.
mocks men's and women's basketball programs too.
They are thinking about it. The teams are going to host its annual Boo and Gold fan event on Monday, October 30th inside McKenzie Arena. There will be trick-or-treating, some basketball events. Of course there will, including a dunk contest and some autographs as well. So you can do both, do some trick-or-treating and have some fun with basketball at the same time.
So there will be a costume or two.
Yes.
Thanks for watching Local 3 News at 5:30.
Local 3 News at 6 with David Carroll and Cindy Sexton starts now.
The work we do and the work we ask them to do is not always the easiest work. It's tough.
There's a shortage of state attorneys taking on cases when defendants don't have representation. Find out why attorneys are hard to come by and how it impacts our justice system.
In short, he agreed to the rules that did him in.
8 Republicans engineer the ouster of their own Speaker of the House. Congressman Chuck Fleischmann talks about how that affects the Tennessee Valley. And a new study shows Tennessee ranks among the top 10 in states where women are murdered by men. A local organization wants to change that by partnering with law enforcement. It's time for Local 3 News at 6.
This is Local 3 News at 6.
Thank you for watching on this Wednesday. I'm David Carroll.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. A Hamilton County court judge says Tennessee pays the least of any state in the country to attorneys representing indigent people.
And it's affecting how quickly our local cases are moving through the court system. Xavier Harris has more on what's behind the shortage.
David, Cindy, bottom line, these attorneys say they are just not getting paid enough for the work that they're doing. They say sometimes they work on cases for days, weeks, months, even years at a time, and they just simply can't afford it. And not only, they say, do they get paid very little, sometimes they don't get paid at all.
We've had several just say, Judge, I'd love to come out and take more cases. I can't afford it.
That's what at least 18 Hamilton County attorneys are telling Judge Robert Filial. Judge Filial is a juvenile court judge and says the current pay for an attorney is $50 an hour, and attorneys have a cap on how many hours they can bill.
Or, some people may hear $50 an hour. That's pretty good. I only make 25 or whatever. Well, that $50 an hour is gross. That's to cover all of their overhead, most of their expenses. Benefits, everything.
He adds attorneys don't get paid every 2 weeks. It comes after a case is closed, which could take weeks, months, or even a year.
The work we do and the work we ask them to do is not always the easiest work. It's tough.
He says most attorneys can make more doing private work. He also says the pay rate of $50 hasn't changed since 1997, but there was a study done to raise the rate between $75 and $125 in 2017.
And you know how much things have increased since 2017.
That pay increase has been brought up yet again. The administrative office of the courts plan to add a pay increase to $80 an hour in their 2024-2025 budget,
which is a good step, but you see how that compares to 2017 dollars.
He says if the pay rates are not increased to a decent pay for attorneys, judges could go back to appointing cases to attorneys that just happen to be in the courthouse at that moment, which attorney Chris Stiles says would be a disadvantage to the American people.
But then there's a lot of times that when you get into that, those attorneys, we could get overloaded with that too, because again, if there's 10 cases that come through that day and you get all 10 of them, if you're in a position where you're not taking a lot of appointed cases, it can be detrimental. It's almost like trying to practice being an attorney with one hand tied behind your back.
Judge Filial says this courtroom sees about 2,000 court-appointed attorney cases per year, so you can see the extreme need for those attorneys. For now, we're live in Hamilton County.